Hello, welcome to the weekly market outlook and stocks discussions on the 19th of September 2021. As usual, we are going to take a look at the US market indices, and then, of course, we're going to move into some interesting stocks for the rest of the week. Now, let's take a look at the chart right now. We are looking at the Dow on the screen right now. As you can see, last week we had a choppy week where the Dow is struggling at its previous support at 34707. There were 2 days that it attempts to, or rather, there are 2 days that it closed higher, but most attempt push it lower. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's actually 3 days. What we are looking at is that from these few days of struggles, this 34707 does not qualify as support anymore. What we are looking at is a lower support, which was formed last week, 34518. As we can see that it has been traded to for the past 4 days. And with the Dow close below the 34707, of course, that concludes that we have that support negated. So we shall pull down the line over here to focus next week on this. So next week, we are going to look at how the market will again react to the potential tax hike, and also the ongoing economic data that is going to be released. So it's going to be crucial, because if the Dow were to break below 34518, it may go to our projected level at 33970. If it's a full corrections, or it is a minor corrections this coming month or the weeks ahead. So what we are looking at next is that S&P 500 is also facing the same type of pressure, where it has ended lower on Friday. And of course, you can attribute the lower ending due to the witching day, where most of the options, futures expire. So therefore, there's a lot of volatility, and therefore the market tend to close lower. And if I were to add some observation in this S&P 500 chart, just want to add a little bit. If you were to focus on this, maybe I'll just use the MA will do, because my observation here is that if you were to look at this blue line, okay, you will notice that the S&P 500 has a very good record on the 50-day MA. Okay, so if you were to go on further, let's turn this off. So you can see here, so far the S&P 500 has a very good track records at its 50-day MA, and therefore what we see is that there is a chance for the S&P 500 to attempt to rebound next week. So if the market has already priced in the fear, the tax, then there might be some rebound. If not, if this is a correction, like I say earlier, then we may see some downward action right below the 50-day MA. Then after that, the market find a reason to go back to its upward momentum. Okay, so the worst scenario is that this was the time where the COVID situation happened, where the S&P 500 corrected a whooping 35%, and I don't think that the market will go there. So let's watch closely on this 50-day MA. The Nasdaq 100 does not have the track record with its 50-day MA, but it has a good record with its 20. So let's just plot again. So let's close the 50 and then just go on to the 20. So you can see the 20 over here. Okay. So at this point, what you see is that there are some time where the index goes below is 20. Okay, goes below is 20 and goes below 20. But most of the time, when it goes back above, there is a chance for the index to continue higher. Okay, so we have it here. We have it here. We have here. Of course, if you look at here, you may ask, here it has attempted 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, then it successfully go up. But you can see that the very close observation on this chart is that when it tries to go above the 20-day MA, there is a very, very slight chance that it will go into a very bad down run. So next week is very crucial to see whether the Nasdaq 100 would do the same. So if it can rebound back above, then we may have a good chance to see it carry on higher towards the 15704 resistance. Now, S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones, we conclude that next week is very important to see it rebound and close back, especially for the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 to close back above its MA. Okay, and of course, for the S&P 500 is a 50-day MA. It must stay above. Then Nasdaq is closed back above 20-day MA. Now let's move on to the STI. What we can see is that STI had a good rebound on Friday from its support level at 3060. So this gives us a glimmer of hope that there might be some upward movement next week, as we can see that this solid white candle accompanied with a good volume or high volume. So if the market moves in sideways, we do expect some action back to approximately around 3100 resistance. So if the index can move there, then at least it can move sideways. If we fail to move even to this resistance and just halfway, maybe 3080, then it may be another lower high, and that would position the index towards a downtrend. So let's look at next week, very crucial as well for STI. Let's move on to the individual chart over here. We are looking at these the banks first. So I'm going to talk about the banks. Very interesting. You can see that DBS is moving in sideways as well, similar to the STI, and it had a very good rebound on Friday. This major support at 29.90 is pretty strong. So what we want to see is that it can break out above 30.50. Of course, to go above 30.60 would suggest that there might be some more upward movement towards 31.40. OCBC, this is one of the observation and chart that I've done earlier when I was studying OCBC over here. Right, there was a bullish engulfing. So the engulfing pattern has helped OCBC to rebound a tiny, weeny little bit. After that, OCBC is struggling to move higher, consolidating at the in between its major support and major resistance. So we have a minor resistance, or I beg your pardon, a major as well. So we can see some second or the first major resistance for it to clear is 1179. Of course, the biggest major resistance that we're seeing is 1228. The closing on Friday was good. So it formed a one white soldier pattern. The volume is nice. So if next week we see 1179 tested, we can anticipate a nice breakout going forward. UOB, very similar to OCBC, has a major resistance at 25.85. And then the next one that we are looking at is around 26.38. So if we can break out above this first major resistance, then 26.38 has a chance for the index, or for the index stocks. Okay, there is a minor resistance over here at 26.31, but it's close enough, so I will still take 26.38, because for UOB to move 7 cents, 6 cents, or 10 cents is pretty easy if it's bullish. So as you can see that the banks needed a breakout, or rather retest of resistance, and a strong breakout to happen, so that it can start to move back into a bullish momentum. So for a quick recap, we look at the DBS to cross above 30.50, then OCBC is 11.79, and then we have UOB at 25.85. Then we have the tech counters to take a look. So last week I mentioned that the AEM is looking at to be bullish. But of course my concern is that whether you will be affected by the poor US closing, but apparently not, as the whole week it was building the higher low over here. And finally, last Friday, it started to break down. So the news has it is that our Temasek and GIC is encouraged to, or has a plan to invest 1 billion to stir up the market, the tech market in the Singapore exchange. So is this they are doing? Well, I can see a strong breakout volume, a bit that a bit disappointing on AEM is that the closing is 425, creating some upper shadow. So it will be perfect if it were to close somewhere around 428. But nevertheless, it's still above its recent 421 and a long-awaited breakout. So what we are looking at is that this is an ascending triangle pattern, and we are looking at the projection to push the AEM, well, very nicely, confluence with its previous resistance. So here around 462 is the projected target. So we are looking at AEM to move towards the level. Franken had a very nice breakout last Wednesday. But after that, as usual, after the breakout, tends to have some consolidation, as you can see from this, from this, and this is not new. So do expect some consolidation. Last week I mentioned that there are some divergence going on, and of course the breakout has totally negated this divergence, and then we are looking at a very nice uptrend going forward. UMS hasn't touched its resistance, but there's a chance. So we really need it to move to 176 resistance, or even 178. Therefore, it can complete the formation of its own ascending triangle. Let's draw again. Okay, and from here we can do a projection where if it can really break out successfully, we do a conservative projection towards 189 target. Grand Venture has applied to move into the main board, as is currently trading as a catalyst. There are some bad actions on Friday as it opened lower and traded lower, but nevertheless the trend remains intact, and let's see whether can it rebound, recover to test 145 resistance. Of course, we do not want to see this counter move back to 126 or 127, as that would form a potential change in trend signs. So it's very important for Grand Venture to move towards the upside. ISDN looking good as we can see the good closing over here. Just like to add on the indicators here. So we can see a good closing, but the volume isn't that high. And as you can see from these sets of indicators, the stocks apparently it has been blocked by its 100-day MA resistance. And you really need to move up to clear 71, then it can continue higher to fill up the gap over here. So keep a watchful eyes to see whether it can clear 71 next week. So definitely you still have chance, especially the closing. Then we have Keppel Corp. As mentioned last week, we have an uptrend line support as it has been holding at this uptrend line support pretty well. The Friday closing is pretty encouraging as it fought back from a lower opening and then closed all the way up to 528. And look at the volume is especially good as it shot up. Okay, so this represent a good chance for the counter to continue to move up towards 538. It is forming a huge formation if it's going to test 548. And we are looking at this potential 598 projected target if it's going to be bullish. So yeah, we're going to keep a close eyes on how Keppel Corp would move. So most importantly, in the meantime, is to move towards 538. Then after that, clear breakout, then go to 548, and then have a strong breakout above this major resistance. Then we may see 598 coming. Sets. This is the one and the second hammer form throughout the week. And then what we are looking at, or as many times in the month for this counter to rebound. Okay. So in September, we have the one hammer over here, the second hammer over here. This hammer, I do not qualify it because the upper shadow is rather long. So these two is a nice hammer that I'm looking at. So it sets ready to rebound. Of course, certainly the 1004 cases that has been reported is not helpful. But if you look at the weekly charts, it has the second similar patterns earlier. So there might be a chance if this white candle comes in, retest is high at 421. So we got to keep a close eyes next week. SGX with the participation or investment of 1 billion, is it going to benefit SGX as it is the exchange of that holds all the tech counters? So if so, then we can see a potential retest of its resistance, which is very important at 1029, so that it form the higher low. And then next we are going to move on to the new chart. Okay, as I have mentioned, I'm going to cover these new chart features week by week. Okay, so before that, just like to conclude, seems like if the market is going to move up, there's a lot of action to be done. We need it to test resistance. Those stocks that are bearish, like Sembcorp Industry, Sembcorp, or rather SIA. Okay, these counters are moving lower, so watch for their support level. In fact, Sembcorp Industry has already broken my target, and then moved significantly lower. And right now it is sitting on this next major support or key support at 181. Okay. Another thing to update you is that remember last time we talked about this Sembcorp Marine's rights issue and the strategies. Unfortunately, the strategies don't really work out as the market don't really like to push the price higher. So there is very little arbitrage difference between the rights price and the market price. But nevertheless, the latest information is that, let's take a look at this. Nevertheless, the access applications is 33%. So the total application for the rights for Sembcorp Marine is 117%. So it's oversubscribed. So next week, keep a lookout on your CDP statement to see how many shares you are receiving, or if you are using CFD, rather, I beg your pardon, you are looking at CDP or CPF. Okay, to keep a lookout on the shares that you are going to receive. Okay, as I read, Temasek is going to get 49% of it, and so therefore, we do see the chance for the market price to stabilize, as we know that Temasek is not selling. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to the new chart. Okay, so this week I am going to talk about this feature. Okay, I'm going to analyze some US stocks in this new chart. As you can see, Tesla is on the screen. Okay, so Tesla, what do we have here? I would like to know what's the support and resistance for Tesla. Okay, so I will just go to this Pro and just click, and then I'll just have SNR click over here. Then it will plot out this resistance and support for Tesla. Okay, and this is a feature that has been has been popular among the some of the analysts, where they do not actually need to plot their own support and resistance. They just need to click on it. And the best thing about this chart is that, you know, you do not need to log in a trading platform, then launch the chart. The session is always there. You just need to have one login. Okay, of course, why do I say that is that because Lim and Tan live charts, we do have this resistance and support as well. But sometimes if you feel like you want the hassle-free login and then just like to look at the support resistance real quick, then you can just go to the chart over here. Okay, now the next thing that I want to move on to is this. If you look below this S and R, S/R, we have this Alert Pro going on. So what are these Alert Pro? So basically, these are some of the strategies that has been programmed inside this web chart. And what are these strategies about? You can read, right? Bullish trend trading, TT. So this is a bullish signal that is going to generate on the chart for you. Okay, if it happens. Okay, so if I were to click on this, you will notice that there is this green arrow coming in. So when the stocks is trending bullishly, then it will have some trading signals along the way. And for Tesla, this trading signal actually appear at around this 685 level. So as you can see now, Tesla is trading at 659. So this means that you will be in a profitable position if you take up this signal. Okay, so of course, if there is a new signal coming out, it will plot out as well. Then the next one will be bearish. So if you look at all these bearish signals, okay, you may see that it's pointing at Tesla to go down. So if I were to go back on the chart last time when this signal was plotted out, Tesla was indeed in a downtrend. So therefore, is a bearish signal. But if I were to move on and then I see this signal as a triggered, I will not take this as a bearish signal. Why? Because I obviously see that the trend is changing. So I can see a higher low over here. So therefore, I would not give this a very heavy weightage. So there's some kind of observation that you need to put up. But the most interesting thing that I just want to share is this break resistance with high volume. Okay, break resistance with high volume, my one of the nice strategy. because in the US market, we know that when it is trending, it can break into a very nice trend, especially if it breaks out from its resistance with high volume. Let me just move back, and when Tesla in the past had this signal, we can see here, do you realize that it moved up over here, and then you see your signals over here? Yeah. So do you see Tesla moves up? So this volume is a very powerful part of our trading, and especially when it breaks above its resistance, this is where we have a good chance to see it continue to move up. Now, if I were to look at the AMD, so once I have the signal click, I can move on to a separate chart, and then it will also appear, and we can see when AMD break out with resistance here with high volume. So breakout resistance with high volume, then we can see AMD move up. Over here, it's the same. Then if I were to zoom out, we can see similar impact. So most of the time it moves up, except here. Yes, it did move up, but limited. After the gap out over here, it lost strength and then moved down already. So of course, no trading signals are 100%. So if I were to be able to say be positive and win 3 times out of 5 times, and then of course I must make more than and cap my losses, then net I will be still positive. If you look at this, of course, the stocks did not break below the low of the breakout candle. So this suggests more upward movement, and if you have continued, this is a 40% gain. Now here you see that it did not really break below its breakout candle, so therefore it continued to move up. This is 60%. Now this happened, and you can see this breaks the breakout candle, so then it continued to move down. So if you are trading, say, contra, well, of course here you just get out faster once it breaks below the breakout candle, okay, during the intraday, or you can wait until 4 a.m. then you close your position faster. So here it did not break down its candle. In fact, it didn't go down at all, so it just continued to move up. So as you can see, these are very useful signals that you can study and then gel into your trading. So that is going to help you tremendously in terms of trading. Okay, so let me just emphasize, how do you get into these free features? Just need to log into webchart.chartnexus.com. Okay, and then use these features to study, to improve your trades, and let us what in the market. Okay, so thanks for viewing this video. I will see you next week. Have a good week ahead and take care.